welcome back, guys. It's going to be episode number 3 of the arcade games here. First one we're going to talk about is going to be Carnival King. 3 out of these next 5 games I got from my buddy who owns Playport in Erie, PA. This being one of them. This game, I've got this game probably at least 6-7 years ago. It had a 25-inch CRT monitor in it, and believe it or not, the tube itself failed. It shorted out. I didn't know at the time that the tube was bad, so I actually sent this chassis out to get rebuilt because it was a weird chassis on this monitor, and got it back, and it instantly blew out the hot on the chassis. So then I determined that it ended up being the tube was shorted, and I had this 27-inch CRT out of a Nicktoons racing game. So I took that and I put it into here, and I had the plastic bezel from Nicktoons Racing as well. So I went ahead and inserted that into here, and I used one of those converter boards just like you saw me do on that Jurassic Park video I made the other day, to convert it from regular CGA to VGA. It's just a little tiny board that basically you plug your CGA cable from your harness into it, and then it just converts it right to a VGA, and then you plug it into the back of the monitor. I even changed the graphics card on here, and I don't remember why I did that, but I did do it for some reason. Now, when I got this game, it didn't have screen bezel artwork, this front artwork here, or this lower front artwork. We actually printed all that stuff ourselves. So this was just a plain black down here, and this wasn't here either. That was just plain black. And obviously the screen was just a piece of glass. So we kind of just created that stuff to make it look a little cooler. The side art was on here. I think this is just a generic cabinet that they put these in. This is made by Incredible Technologies. Real fun game. Probably one of my favorite shooting games that I've played. You know, it's just a real basic carnival shooting game. You're just, you know, shooting stuff like if you were to go to a carnival or you know, something like that, and play those shooting games where they have those BB guns. It's kind of like that. I'm trying to think of anything else really about it. I basically got the cabinet the way it is. I never restored it. I put red T-molding on it. It had some beat up black T-molding on it, so I changed it to red. I figured it looked a little cooler. And that's really all I've done to this, was change the graphics card on the board and the monitor that had gone bad. I want to say I paid $400 for it, and then I had the monitor to fix it. It worked fine for a while before the monitor that came with it broke. So I had the monitor, and then I bought a graphics card, which was like, I don't even know if it was like $50 or something like that. So I don't have a ton of money into it. I think for what I have into it, it's a really fun game, and it has replay value. A lot of shooting games, in my opinion, don't really have a big replay value. I think once you beat a shooting game, it's kind of, you know, you're kind of over it. But this, you don't ever really beat it, because you always can better your score. It's not like, unless you're that good and you can do 100% every time, which is pretty much impossible. So that's Carnival King. Next to that, we have Time Pilot. Okay, now this is a little bit of an odd one here. I got this from another friend of mine, not from Playport, somebody else. I got a scuff on the front control panel overlay. I bet you that'll come off with some magic eraser. I think it was when I was remodeling the basement. There's like a little bit of white scuff on there. But okay, the odd thing about this cabinet is I got this from a buddy. It was playing blind. It had a 4600 monitor in it. The monitor was screwed up. I had another chassis from another 4600 monitor. I went ahead and swapped it out, put that chassis on this monitor, and kept the monitor itself. When I was doing all that, I think I gave him $150 for the game, by the way. I put a new overlay on it. I put a new our new marquee, which is just a piece of printed translate that we printed ourselves and put it behind some plexiglass. The original glass one was completely peeling and falling apart. It didn't have side art or the lower front art. I got that from this old game. The side and the front art came from him. I believe I think it was less than $200 for the artwork. So I'm $350 into this game. Oh, done a control panel overlay, which I don't know if we printed that or not. I'm probably $400 into the game if I were to guess. Now, the funny thing about this one, when I was taking the monitor out and working on this and cleaning the inside of the cabinet, there's a tag on the inside of this cabinet that says Locomotion. Okay, so originally this was a Locomotion game made by Century, whatever you want to call it. But when I got it, it had a Time Pilot marquee, it had a Time Pilot control panel overlay, it had the Time Pilot screen bezel. Like I said, it just didn't have the side art or the front art. I don't know if an operator at some point changed it to Time Pilot, or did it come from the factory already changed to a Time Pilot? Was Locomotion before Time Pilot? I don't know. I didn't really do a bunch of research in it. But that's originally what this cabinet was meant to be from the factory. And the tag is still in there. The piece of paper is still on the side of the cabinet. As far as fixing the cabinet itself, all the wood grain is original. I did nothing to the sides or to the front right here. I repainted the black areas. So I sanded, fixed a little bit of the black areas and repainted those. As far as the game goes itself, I put a high score saver kit on it. And like I said, I just fixed the monitor that was in the cabinet. And all the original wiring and everything is still in there for the Time Pilot, the board, everything. It's all installed like it originally was for the most part. Oh, and I restored the coin door. That was beat up pretty badly. So that's really about all I did with that game. Really fun game. I like it. I'm not real good at it. I only have a 42,900 score on it currently. Yeah, that's about all I know on this one. So I can't verify if somebody changed it from a Locomotion to a Time Pilot at one point. Like I said, I don't know if it which game came out first. I'd have to look it up and see. So that's where I'm at with the Time Pilot. Next to that, we have a Operation Thunderbolt. Now, this is another game. Operation Thunderbolt and Wolf both came from my buddy Brad from Playport. I think I paid $400 for Operation Thunderbolt. Once again, it was a really reasonable price. I like this game. Very hard game. I've never beat the game. Me and Brad actually played it together, and we make it to the end, but we can't beat it. But as far as this game goes, when I got this game, he had put a flat screen in it. Okay, so it does have a flat screen monitor in here. This one doesn't bother me too much. I probably could put a 19-inch CRT in here, but to be honest with you, I'd rather not waste a 19-inch CRT when I have so many other 80s games that CRT can really be used for. And because this is projected onto a mirror, to me it doesn't look that bad, so I just leave it as is. Like I said, I think I have $400 into the game, and I have literally done nothing other than change the marquee, because the marquee, the original one, was completely faded to the point where you couldn't even read Operation Thunderbolt. It was just whited out from just the years of light. When I say I've done nothing to this cabinet or game, you can see I've done nothing to it. It has all the original wear marks on it, you know, missing artwork. Coin door's a little beat up. I don't think those are even lit up. Maybe I should fix those and get those to light up. But nothing's been done to it. It plays really well. It doesn't look too bad having a flat screen in there. And I love these shooting games that have the mirror, because it makes it look like it's so far back. Like when you're standing here looking at this game, it looks like that screen is so far back that the cabinet is like 4 feet deep, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's just an illusion. So other than that, I've done nothing to this game that I can think of. I don't even think I changed any buttons or anything. I think he had it all pretty much up and running when I got it. Okay, now next to that we have Operation Wolf, which came from Brad again at Playport. Now this cabinet, I actually did 2 of them at the same time. And I'm having a little bit of issues with this game, and I know what it is. He told me what to fix. I just honestly haven't had the time to fix it. I need to do some fix videos on the stuff that is currently not working in the basement, and hopefully it'll help other people out. But anyways, so this Operation Wolf, I got this because I had Operation Thunderbolt and Operation Wolf 3. I was like, screw it, let's just finish the series. I'll have all 3 games. And like I had said before, I had gotten rid of Operation Wolf 3. I didn't like the gameplay at all. It really didn't make any sense from Operation Wolf to Operation Thunderbolt. It really, I don't even know what they were thinking when they made that, but I think it was their last ditch effort in this series of games that they made. But anyways, so I restored 2 of these at the same time. One for me, one for him. So basically, I've done a lot of games for him in the past. He's always hooked me up with good prices, you know, fair with everything. So what I said, I was like, you know what, Brad, bring me both of them. I'll fix up one for you, and I'll fix up the other one and keep it for me. He's like, fine, no problem. So I didn't charge him to fix up the game. He gave me this one for free. So what I did was I took both cabinets and fixed them both at the same time. Now, both of these cabinets were completely screwed up, the last foot on the bottom of these cabinets. I don't have video on it. It was years and years ago that I did it. But the last foot of this cabinet, I had to cut off. So basically, where the artwork stopped on Operation Wolf, I cut the cabinet off, both sets of cabinets. And I rebuilt that down, including the step and everything. So that's all rebuilt. I rebuilt the drawer underneath there so that the PCB and everything slides out. That's all fixed. It all works. It's running all original hardware except for a switching power supply. Running a switching power supply on that. Now, it's running the original CRT that came in this cabinet. And the funny thing is, I never even touched the CRT monitor. I never even touched the settings on it, the color, the flyback, nothing. I got this game up and running and did nothing to the monitor whatsoever. It was already in that good a shape and it looked that good. So, and the more I think about it, I don't think I ever even took the monitor out of the cabinet. I think it just sat in there the whole time I fixed it. But anyway, so what I did with this cabinet was the artwork was really beat up on it. Scratched up. I don't want to pull it out because it's kind of in a tight spot right now. But the whole cabinet, the artwork was scratched up, beat up, nicked up. I sat there with acrylic paint and paint brushes, and I redid all the artwork. Went over it all, recolored it all in, everywhere it needed it. Can even see the Tato up there. Went over that. We went ahead and printed this. Okay. And we did a yellowish background on it to make it look a little bit vintage. So we redid this as a print. I stuck it on here, and then I clear coated the whole cabinet over top of all the artwork that I did. And it turned out really nice. I did his the exact same way. Now these are the original screen bezels here. Okay, now these are plexiglass on these games. And this cabinet, when I got it, the gun was screwed up. And it'll still hit a little bit. So basically what was happening is it was really screwed up and the gun was really moving forward and it was beating the shit out of this plexiglass. Okay, so it had huge gouges in this plexiglass. And believe it or not, this is the original stuff. What I did was I wet sanded and buffed all the scratches out of this plexiglass to get it back to where it looks original. I took the gun apart. I rebuilt the gun. The vibration motor wasn't working, so I got that working. He had given me like 5 or 6 guns to work with, so I took all the guns apart and took the best parts from each gun and made 2 really good guns out of them. So like I said, it plays, it works, but what happens sometimes during gameplay, it'll just randomly screw up. And he told me that there is which I know about it, there's a strip that goes between the PCB and like the power supply area and everything, and the wires come in one side and then they go out the other, but they don't directly go in here and come right out the other side. One wire might come in over here and jump out over there. But what happens is all those connections, they get corrosion in them. And when they get corrosion in them, the game starts going haywire. So it starts doing dumb things. So I need to go through there, unscrew all those connections, clean them all, probably bend the prongs down, and then retighten everything down so that they have good contact. Maybe even strip back the wires and redo that. Once again, this is another game that has the monitor laying down. So the CRT is laying down on the bottom there. And you can see how it's backwards. And then once it projects onto the mirror, it's the correct way. And, you know, here's the difference between this one and this one. Very, very slight difference between the two. But obviously you can see the rounded monitor. And this is a little bit bigger of a picture because it's a flat screen. But original marquee, all original artwork, just touched up. I put a free play button right here because it didn't have free play on this. So I did put a free play in there. So once again, minor things I need to fix on this and it's good to go. So that is the Operation Wolf. And then the last one for today is going to be Mortal Kombat 3. Okay, this game was once again a game I bought all the pieces for. Cabinet, I paid $125 for it. I'm trying to think here. Trying to remember what I did, how I did it. Had the coin doors on it, so it was $125. Came with the coin doors, and it came with this monitor. This monitor was in the cabinet, and this monitor worked. So I got the cabinet with the monitor for $125. Obviously had no artwork whatsoever. We ended up printing the side art. The screen bezel, I ordered it. The marquee, I ordered it. And the Mortal Kombat 3, the front pieces, I believe I ordered those as well. So I ordered those parts. We printed our own side art. The marquee, the PCB, and that stuff came from my buddy Brian. I think I traded him some work. He wanted like $250 for the PCB with the marquee and whatever else I got from him. So we ended up trading work here and there. I did some restoration work or something for him. He gave me the PCB. I took it off his bill. So basically, we'll just say I had $125 in the cabinet, you know, plus the $250 board set, because I still have to, it's still money that I paid, because even though I traded, I still paid for it in the end. So we're at $375. I did the side art. I'm not really going to count that because at the time we were printing a bunch of vinyl, so it really didn't cost anything to print that. And I don't remember what I paid for the overlay and the front piece and stuff. I would imagine probably less than $100 if I were to guess. The cabinet was obviously empty other than the monitor and the coin doors. I took it completely apart, took the coin doors apart, rebuilt all those, repainted them, repainted the cabinet. I did all the body work to the sides and painted the sides satin black before I put the artwork on. I see this happen a lot of times. People take these Mortal Kombat cabinets and they sand down the sides, they peel the old artwork off, and then they apply the new artwork to that particle board. And when you apply the artwork to that particle board, all that particle board shows right through the artwork and it looks like crap. So you really need to take your time, sand it all down, get it smooth, put a nice coat of paint on it, and then stick your artwork to it, because artwork only hides so much stuff. When you put artwork over crappy bodywork and wood, it's going to show through. It's inevitable. Your base is what's going to make your final product look good. So if your base is crappy, your final product's going to be crappy. You can have the best printed side art that money can buy. If your sides of your cabinet have a crappy bodywork job, that's how your artwork's going to look when it's done, especially in these particle board cabinets. So you got to really figure that out. Oh, you know what else I bought for this? A new metal panel that goes underneath here. The old one had holes drilled in it everywhere, and I think I paid like 89 bucks for that. So I'm probably $600 into this game complete. Kids like playing it. I'm not much of a Mortal Kombat fan. I do play it occasionally. My hands get tired. It's just rapid button pushing the whole time. And but I do play it occasions. You know, it's not to say that I don't. I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 on PlayStation. Played that quite a bit when I was younger. But just nothing beats the arcade version. I don't care what anybody says. It's a little bit harder to play. I think it's a little bit easier to play with the remote in your hand versus this. But once you get used to this setup, I think it's a much superior game in my opinion. Now, I don't really see a need. I used to have Mortal Kombat 1. I want to say I had Mortal Kombat 2 at some point as well. And for me, personally, I like 3 the best, but most people like 2 the best, Mortal Kombat 2. I just think 3 is fine for me because it combines 1 and 2 together. So in my opinion, 1, 2, and 3 are all on this one. You know, I could be wrong, but that's just how I think of it. And I don't ever plan on getting another Mortal Kombat. This is plenty good for, you know, people that come over, younger kids that play it and stuff like that. The screen or the speaker metal and everything, I took all that off, sandblasted it, painted all that. That was all powder coated originally, and it was literally flaking off. When I blew it with the blowgun, big hunks of the paint were coming off of it. So I cleaned all that up, brackets and everything. Did nothing to the monitor that I remember doing, and it's running all original hardware. I don't remember what's running in it for a power supply. That I can't answer because I just don't remember. This has been restored for at least 5-6 years. I went with red T-molding. I don't know if originally what color T-molding came on this. Did it come red? I'm not sure. I forget on that one, but that's what I did with that. So basically that's it on these 5 games. These are kind of like my bigger games. Most of my bigger games are right here. I have a few other ones that are really big, but for the most part, these are bigger games. You know, these are the Carnival King and the Mortal Kombat 3 are, you know, almost from the same era, mid-90s, late 90s. When was this made? 95? Yeah, I would say they're both mid-90s. In fact, I think Carnival King maybe even be late 90s. So that's these 5 games for today. Basically what I've done to them, about what I have into them. So as you can see, if you guys are getting the picture here, a lot of this stuff was really cheap, and it was my hard work and motivation to get them together and finished is what saves me money. You know what I mean? You can go out and buy a Mortal Kombat 3 for, I would say, between $1,000 and $1,500, depending. I'm probably $600 into it. Why should I spend $1,000 to $1,500 when I can just do it myself, get the satisfaction of doing it, learning about how all this stuff works, and saving money at the same time? So, you know, for me, that's what I enjoy doing. I like doing it. I like taking the crap that nobody wants to work on and bringing it back to what it once was. I just have more fun doing that. You know, I'm not a big TV guy. I don't watch a bunch of TV. I would rather be in my shop messing with this stuff and getting it working, you know. That's what I enjoy, and that's what I like doing. You know, everybody's obviously different. Some people don't have a skill set or a place to work on stuff, and I understand that. And if you really want the game, then you got to go out there and buy one done, you know, or at least working to where you just got to do maybe some artwork or something small to it, you know, which there's nothing wrong with that. Just the way I do these games, I try not to spend that much money on them if I don't have to. Now, I don't cheap out either. I don't really go to where I skimp on stuff because I don't want to spend the money. I will spend the money if I need to. Let's put it that way. So, all right, that's going to end these 5. Next Sunday, we're going to do the last 4 MCR games in the middle here. We went over the first MCR, which was Tapper, a couple weeks ago. And then next Sunday, we're going to go over these 4. I'll tell you the whole story on the Tron, how bad it was and all that. And I'll tell you the story on all 4 of these. I pretty much remember where everyone came from, what I did to them, and all that stuff. So we'll go through these next 4, and then I think what we'll do is we'll go around this way. Maybe we'll do the asteroids. I'll tell you this Nintendo cabinet, what's the deal with that? Legends Pinball, we're going to skip that. That's just kind of down here to screw around with every now and then. So I don't know if I really want to talk about that. I mean, well, I don't know, maybe for a brief minute. But anyways, we'll talk about these 5 right here, the Frogger and stuff. And then maybe we'll jump over to the Nintendo cabinets in the middle, what I built, what's original, and stuff like that. So I think that's it for today. Jurassic Park, I had a video I put out the other night. I did get it working. I got to mess with the monitor and the guns a little bit. I need to check my 5 volts on the monitor, or I'm sorry, on the guns themselves, because the guns are not registering all the time. Could be lighting, could be brightness, could be the contrast on the monitor, but I know that it's partially it's for the most part working. So what I'm going to do is probably put the game together and then screw with it at that point, because the monitor won't be laying on the floor. I can stand up and do it the proper way, and we'll just see how it works. And we can even talk about the gumball machine I restored probably 15 years ago, if you'd like. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments, feedback, the likes, thumbs up. I'm getting real good traction with these videos. People really seem to like them, which is awesome. I appreciate that, and hopefully you guys keep watching them. Let me know if you guys want to see like the insides of some of these cabinets. Maybe after we get done walking through all these games, how I got them, what I did to them, and prices and stuff like that, maybe if you guys have some suggestions on maybe some of the games you'd like to see the insides of. You know, would you like to see the inside of my Zookeeper cabinet, or the Asteroids Deluxe cabinet, or any of these games? You know, let me know. Or if there's somebody that is working on one of these games and needs to maybe know how something is run. I think for the most part, I have everything running about where everything goes. For the most part, you know, I might not be 100% correct on a few things, because once again, I'm buying all these games taken apart, converted, empty. So it's hard for me even. I'm searching through the internet trying to find pictures of how the insides of some of these games are put together, because I don't know, because I didn't take them apart, because I didn't get them complete. So, you know, but I am more than willing to show anybody who would like to see the insides of some of these games. If you happen to have one, you're working on it, and you just need to know, I'd be more than willing to help you out with that. So thanks, guys, and I will see you guys next Sunday. And I'll probably do another video later this week putting the Jurassic Park together. Bunch of work to do on that. Got to figure out how to get the monitor in there, remove some wood, a bunch of stuff to do on that. So there's probably be another video or 2 on that. So all right, guys, have a good Sunday, have a good holiday tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.